When you look at the mergers that are coming about, and when you look, at the areas that really do not have access, and if FCC is going to step in and provide some leadership in this regard and make it possible for all of our libraries, make it possible for all of our schools, to have computers, then if they can come up with a system that's going to range for resources to be made available. For instance, if you have a merger, well, what will they do on behalf of these schools? What would they do on behalf of these libraries? And to take those resources coming and to put it towards these underprivileged schools and areas. That to me, I feel is very, very important. Now, the FCC, and I agree with them, have to have some teeth in order to be able to make them do what they're saying they're going to do. And they've had some problems already. The merger between Sirius and XM, they promised, a certain amount of stations, and of course, they have not done it. And they said to FCC, well, you pick them, and then the FCC is saying, no, we're not, but you need to do it. And of course, after all this time, they still have not done it. So, and then the FCC is being told that you don't have the power to make us do it. So we have to maybe look at legislation to give them the power to make them do it, because, I said to the chairman of the FCC, if they make a commitment and they don't follow it, you should not allow them back in the building. But I'm sure they can't. That's the wrong kind of oversight. But anyway, but we need to find a way to enforce this. If there's an agreement that comes about, and you're always going to have these mergers, and I think that's the key. And out of it, we need to be able to negotiate something, and we need to make certain that we get it into these areas that don't have. So I'm for them having more clout in that regard, but at the same time, it has to be used to uplift those that are down.
Just quick follow-up. Do you think in that clout, their regulatory authority should be extended to, regulating the internet, like in addition to what they do with telecommunication carriers,
right,
cable networks, and radio stations?
I'll be honest with you. I want to think about it a little more. You know why? I wanted to be open, wanted to be free, and I think that just yesterday I got banged around on it, and I said, well, maybe we need to have some regulations or something, because we gotta do something. I mean, like I saw, I'm sorry, it wasn't yesterday, before, that all of this stuff appeared on me, and then it was true. And I'm saying, maybe we need to look at some form of regulations here, because, and if you keep putting this out, and if you don't respond to it, people believe it. A lady called you and asked me, she says, well, I've been voting for you. I didn't know you were indicted. And I said, I've never been indicted. I've never been before a grand jury. That's not true. She said, well, because at that point, I didn't know it was up. And then, and so I'm saying that somewhere along the line that you have to hold people accountable for what they say. And I'm not sure as to how we limit it or how, but the point is that when people read that kind of stuff, you can destroy folks without them realizing that they've been destroyed. And by the time they realize they're destroyed, it's over. It's amazing. And it's not that, I'm that sensitive to it, but I give an example. How some couple of years ago, that they were talking about that there's not a bar that they could not find me in. It says, drink. I don't even drink. It's something. It's just that kind of stuff that just sort of gets out of hand, and not, I just think that and when people read it and they see it, you know, for as they're concerned, it happened. I got an uncle, well, you know, he's dead now, but if he read something in the paper, don't come telling him it wasn't true. You know what I mean? I mean, he would, I mean, you know, he would, and he would tell you, you know. And so you have that. So somewhere along the line, I think there must be some kind of monitoring, but I'm not prepared at this point to say what we should do and how much. I think but you know, I mean, but I don't know either. I just don't know. And at the same time, I'm a big person in terms of on transparency. You know, I believe in that, and freedom of speech. You know, but here again, I think that some of this just has to be regulated in some form of fashion. You know.